Hello and welcome to the TMZ podcast.
Forgot where you were for a second.
I'm Charlie Cotton, and today I'm joined by the courtroom Casanova.
Oh, I love it.
The man himself, Derek Kaufman.
We've been workshopping a few of these, and I landed on courtroom Casanova. That's what I want going forward. How about that?
Yeah, it was that or litigation loin liquor.
We'll save that one for the end of trial. Maybe
Right.
when it gets passed to the jury for deliberations.
Big day in New York yesterday.
Big day.
A lot happened in NYC, baby.
Yeah, Diddy trial
We got the
underway.
Diddy trial, day one. And obviously, you know that back to front, so you give us all the details. We also had the Met Gala last night.
And you, fashion maven, know that back to front. Look at you.
Look at me.
Always
bro.
at the leading edge of fashion.
And I mean, speaking of your fashion, the Knicks also won their first playoff game last night.
Look, we're a news podcast. I don't like to bring the personal here, but I'm pumped.
You're pumped.
I'm a big Knicks fan. They beat the Celtics
Bing
in Boston.
bong.
Bing bong. Bing bong. Gonna
Bing
be a
bong,
series now. Gonna be a series.
So New York was the place to be yesterday. To begin with, let's remind you that we're live on YouTube, actually. So if you want to leave your comments or questions or feedback or anything, we'll get to it at the end of the show. To begin with, Diddy Combs, day one. Give us your highlights, your lowlights, and everything in between.
The trial is underway. The beginning of any trial is jury selection, right? Everyone thinks you start with opening statements. You're going to have lawyers out there. Not the case. Got to get a jury in place first. So they're picking the jury. They brought in nearly 600 people to whittle it down to 18. That's 12 on the jury and 6 alternates. You have to have the alternates in case things go awry. This trial is set to take place over 8 weeks. Things could happen. A juror has to go home. Family emergency. You bring in an alternate who also follows the case. Now, Diddy was there. He's no longer wearing any prison duds or anything like that. He's got a nice sweater on. He let the gray hair come in. He said he was nervous. This is all an effort to make him look like a harmless old man. This is a guy who couldn't
Covered
commit
up some
crimes.
tats. I heard he
Covered up a few tats. You know, no glasses. Not the Diddy that you're used to. This is the kinder, gentler Diddy. Because
actually, he didn't have the usual sunglasses, but he did have old man reading glasses.
he did. He put on specs. Another effort. Look, they made him look like Mr. Rogers, right?
Yeah.
They want him to look kid-friendly, mother-approved kind of guy. So because the allegations that are going to come out when these witnesses take the stand are going to make him look like a monster. That's the prosecution's case, and they want to make him look like this little angel couldn't do a thing wrong.
And basically, that's the monstrous allegations that he's facing. That's part of the jury selection in that the judge was asking the potential jurors, can you take it?
Yeah, you're trying to see whether you have any sensitivities. This is 600 people that nobody's ever met. Prosecution, defense, judge, they don't know these people. You're trying to get a quick assessment of, is this person going to be impartial in this case? Now, obviously, the prosecutors want someone who is sensitive to sex crimes, that is maybe going to be sympathetic to these witnesses. The defense is looking for people who are a little bit more freewheeling, willing to accept that a celebrity leads a different life than other people, open sexually, but not necessarily criminal. So they're looking for different types, and they want someone who can actually deliver a verdict in their favor. So the judge has been asking people's questions. You start with occupation, age, obviously race and gender are obvious right in front of you. There was a massage therapist who was questioned, and that was pretty interesting because there was some baby oil found in Diddy's house.
Oh, wow.
So people are thinking, oh, massage therapist, baby oil. That's not really the issue.
They be biased against or for baby oil?
Listen, who knows? You're
It's
looking
a waste.
for any...
They consider it a waste.
It's a waste. You got to put that to work on the shoulders, right?
Right.
But in actuality, that massage therapist also said he had a sister who had experienced domestic violence in the past. So the defense jumped up and said, ugh, we got to let this guy go.
Right.
Because that person may be too sympathetic to issues. They may see that Cassie video, and they don't want that to interfere with giving Diddy a fair trial, which he deserves.
And other celebrity names were invoked during day one as well. Who and why?
Yeah, so other jurors, you talking about the jurors who were asked about it?
They were asked if they may or have rubbed shoulders with actors like Michael B. Jordan and Mike Myers.
That's right. Remember, there's another juror. This is not the massage therapist, right?
This is a different
This,
juror.
I believe, is a different juror who said that they had rubbed elbows with some celebrities. Remember, you're in New York. When you have trials in New York and LA, people are going to have had access to famous people. That's just the nature of the beast. And they want to know if that'll interfere with their ability to give a fair trial to another celebrity like Diddy. So this one said they had had some familiarity with Michael B. Jordan, Mike Myers. I think other names were even mentioned. And this is all probing to see whether this is a suitable person to sit. The prosecution and the defense team can eliminate people for cause if they think they're not able to be unbiased, or they can just say, this looks bad, I want to get rid of them. That's called a peremptory challenge. You have fewer of those, but you can basically build the jury you want to build. And it's going to be a series of compromises between the prosecution and the defense to get those 12 people that you're sitting on the jury.
And I've seen that TV show, Jury Duty.
Mm-hmm.
Often when these big trials happen, the jury are sequestered.
Yes. Often, I wouldn't say often. It's exceedingly rare. When you watch television, it makes it seem like jury sequestration is something that happens all the time. It happens very, very rarely because it's a huge imposition on someone's life. For 8 weeks, you're saying you can only stay in a hotel, can't see your family.
Can't see your phone.
Can't see your phone. You're going to have no access to any of the niceties of life. That's a hard thing to do. They did it in the OJ trial. And they sat them in a hotel for 265 days.
What?
Which is a long time to be away from your family. That was like 9 months.
Nearly a year?
Nearly a year. Because that case was so high profile, you had the Bronco chase, OJ, lots of feelings about race. They said, we need to keep them away from the media during the case. In the Diddy case, they're not doing that. They don't have plans to do that. So people will go home. They'll have their phones. What will happen is a judge will admonish them at the end of every day. Don't look at the media. Don't watch the news. And usually people take it seriously, but people are going to look at their phones.
I think it'd be so hard not to. If you are a jury on what might be the biggest celebrity criminal trial, is it criminal or is it criminal trial of all time, it must be so hard not to go home and kind of look. You know how if you go to an awesome sporting event, you go home and you like to watch the highlights?
Of course.
You were there.
Yeah, you want to see yourself in the crowd maybe, or just like relive that magic that you were there.
It must be so hard not to pay any attention to media about Diddy.
I think that's right. Although when a judge on a big bench is telling you, don't do this, an authority figure, and you can get in trouble, other jurors can snitch on you and say, hey, this guy came in the next day and told me this, and he'll get kicked off the jury. Okay. And then the alternate will come in. So there's some mechanisms to make sure people are not watching too much. But you're right. I think people will turn on the news.
Have you got any more details, or is that it?
I think those are the big details. Coming into day 2, there's a Garagos issue going on because Mark Garagos does a podcast with Harvey, the Two Angry Men podcast.
Oh, wow.
And prosecutors saw Mark Garagos in the courtroom sort of advising defense counsel. He was sitting in the gallery, but sort of whispering to them apparently during these proceedings. And the prosecutors say, hey, you're not a lawyer in this case. You can't be meddling. You got a podcast where you're spilling all the beans. You can have the podcast or you can be on the defense team, but you can't have both.
Harvey would love that, though.
Oh, Harvey loves it. The Two Angry Men podcast, available on all platforms if you're interested.
There you go. Let's get on with our next story. The Met Gala was last night, and, it's the night of nights for all the fashionistas. Everyone looked pretty good, I must say. Actually, when I was looking at the photos and stuff from the Met Gala this year, something about just like what a chaotic national and international environment we're in.
Yes.
I looked at these like rich and famous people dressing up and I'm like, why do we care? Like, why do we as like the poor people out there need to sort of like clap at these rich people dressing all fancy? This for the first year, I was like, I kind of think it's gross.
Yeah, there's too much going on in the world that is like very serious that it was hard for you to enjoy this frivolity. But some people see it as an escape. And, it sounds like you were put off by it because these are rich and famous people maybe out of touch with what's going on.
Like Kamala Harris was there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not the best look. I agree. There's a lot going on. This administration has been quite chaotic, and you want them to focus on that rather than... You don't need the respite from it. You don't want the break right now to look at them. It just feels
like a distraction where we have to clap at people who are better than us.
Yeah.
It's just like... But anyway, Rihanna was there.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like she's pregnant. Seems very much like she's pregnant.
If she's not, something is very different about her. She was cradling a baby bump, apparently having her third kid with A$AP Rocky, who was the host of the Met Gala.
Mm-hmm.
And he came out. Did you see him with the umbrella?
He looked good.
Yeah, but the umbrella had like a little gun handle. It looked like there was like a pistol grip on the umbrella.
Oh, that's
which I thought was a little bit like, not thumbing his nose, but he beat that case with Relly, and he had like a pistol-gripped umbrella. At least that's what it looked like to me. Like there was a little hammer on the back, it seemed to me.
It's, I can't remember how Rihanna unveiled her first pregnancy. But,
wasn't it Super Bowl?
Well, that was the second, I
think. That was second. I don't remember.
But second was Super Bowl, third was Met Gala.
Mm-hmm.
I like how she just kind of just like comes out and does it. And also, just doing it at an event versus doing it at the Super Bowl, they're very different ways to do it.
She can pull off anything because she's now not doing music anymore. I listened to a podcast. She hasn't had an album in almost 10 years or something, but she's still super relevant with her brand and she does things like this. She knows how to continue being a very relevant celebrity. It's pretty interesting.
Now, what do you think about what some people are calling the most controversial underwear choice of all time? Lisa from Blackpink and the White Lotus,
Yeah.
famously.
Breakout star, hugely famous person.
She wore underwear, panties with Rosa Parks' face all over it.
Right, which ordinarily you wouldn't see someone's panties. She didn't wear pants.
Right,
So
right,
so
true.
the panties were the outfit, right?
Yes.
And if you zoomed in, there were just
Which you do every time, just to make sure.
Just to make sure there's not a story there. And there was a story. So if you zoom in, you saw embroidered images of Rosa Parks. It's very clear. She's like as famous as anyone from the civil rights movement, famously didn't sit in the back of the bus. Having her on your panties felt disrespectful to me. I don't know how it felt to you. She's as exalted as Martin Luther King, Gandhi, these kind of figures. I don't think you can put them in print on your crotch.
But she did. And
She did. And she's also not from here. So those people have a different sort of standing in history, if you're an American,
True.
obviously, than if you're South Korean, I assume.
What statement do you think she was trying to make?
I don't know. I think she was trying to get a headline, and she got it. I don't know if it might come from the old all press is good press. I think she was probably saying this is an homage.
An homage.
But
Rosa would have wanted it.
Yeah, that's exactly where Rosa would want to be.
Right.
But it was a bridge too far. I thought it read poorly, given that we respect that figure so much here, and maybe she was just blind to it. So maybe she can say, like, I didn't know.
And Kylie was there, but Timothée Chalamet, he missed the game, went and he saw the Knicks. He was watching it on his iPad at home.
He's like the #1 Knicks fan now. If you grew up, you would always see Spike Lee, and Spike Lee's still in the stands. But Chalamet's chasing him now. Chalamet is the hottest actor with the Dune movies and so forth. He's at all the Knicks games, sitting front row a lot of times with Kylie. I like him a lot, and the Knicks had a hell of a night. I think he made the right call.
Bing bong again.
Bing bong! Stand clear of the closing doors.
Okay, let's read out some of your comments. Melody Marotta said, well, they made Diddy look more like a grandpa. He can kiss his freak-offs goodbye now. That's for sure.
I don't know if it's for sure. I mean, this trial just started. If they get the right jury, he could walk. I don't think he'll do freak-offs again, but he could walk from this criminal case.
I was thinking that maybe he'll get off. No pun intended.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking that maybe he won't face.
They certainly softened his look.
Kevin Murray says it's not surprising that Austin Powers would be at the Diddy party.
Oh, I see what you did there, Kevin. I kind of like that one. Mike Myers did get a little shout-out.
Sir Mel11 said, are the employees dressing up for the Met Gala? I think that would be a cool office thing to do. If we here at TMZ all dressed up.
Yeah. You have Martin Luther King underwear or anything? Like,
All
what are you planning on wearing?
That's right.
Yeah. Is that going to be your Halloween costume?
I have a dream.
Let's see how that goes.
Yeah, good idea. Beast Mode God 1, as opposed to Beast Mode God, said there were some dresses that looked horrible.
There were, but fewer than usual. Usually it's so far out there that some of them are just ugly for ugly's sake. I thought there was less of that this year. What did you think?
Yeah, nothing offended me. As I say, I just, scrolling through, I kind of just like, why am I...
You were put off by it.
Why am I looking at these people like all dressed up? What do I get?
You didn't like Kim Kardashian getting upset over someone stepping on her train. Like, how dare you?
Right.
You got a lot going
if
on.
someone just steps on my shoe when I'm walking, I do get upset. So I kind of got that, but...
Got it. You don't like a flat tire?
No. Jackie can't stand Kim K, but she did like the way she looked on the red carpet.
Except for the hat, which was a big part of the outfit.
True. Sekiena Hicks, Kamala looked beautiful. She did look nice. I just don't know why she was there. Like,
when I see her, there's some sadness I have, like of what could have been. Now she's at the Met Gala rather than sitting in the Oval Office.
That's it.
Not to reveal too much about my voting preferences.
Digital Bandito Studios. Charlie Cotton's look today is very Met Gala. Go Charlie casual. Wow, just a blue sweater will get the job done. Very nice. Justin Harris. I low-key think Rihanna is shooting for a girl.
Oh,
true.
I think that's true, too. When you see a family that has the same sex of multiple babies, they're chasing. It looks like they're chasing. I had my girl first, and then I had a boy, and we done. That's it. You could just tap out, but sometimes you chase that gender that you don't have.
Did you have the old snipperoo?
Nope, I haven't snipped it up, dude. Live. You can't beat me in a sperm race. We already talked about this.
Wow. And you're not worried
Got the empty lane.
You're not worried that you might have a third coming in?
Oh, you only get worried if you're having lots of sex. I'm good, bro.
Okay. Cute. Debbie Bash says, Iowa says, good morning, Charlie and Derek.
Morning.
Hello, Iowa. Anything you want to say about Iowa?
Uh-oh. Wait, what did someone say? I finally made it to alive, and it's freaking Derek.
Oh,
Man, freaking. What is that expression from that show? Like, freaking this
Derek,
guy.
man.
Freaking this guy.
Someone is hanging out for a Charlie Neff episode, or maybe even a Devon special, but not a Derek Kaufman.
Let down.
Lelania Chapman. Derek's voice makes this Canadian girl smile.
Uh-oh. Someone likes that lush baritone. Maybe if I just a little ASMR, just nice deep tones.
Just do legal terms in ASMR.
Without that gross Aussie accent of yours. Oi. Nice is nice, man.
And Eminem, big fan, number one fan of the show, some might say. Cotton, am I late on the news? Robert Irwin is in the States. You should get him for a Big Down Under interview.
Book him, man.
I've been trying.
The biggest guy
hard.
down under.
Robert Irwin doesn't reply to my messages or email. I'm going to keep trying. He's on Dancing with the Stars America, obviously. I need to get him on.
Robert, you think you're bigger than Bindi? Give us a shout. Bindi talks to us.
Well, I mean, I've got a very good DJ on the show today, coming out today.
Oh, awesome.
A guy who DJs for toddlers.
Ooh, very cool.
It sounds silly, but you should see these toddler raves.
Big industry, man.
Honestly, everyone's got the colors and everyone's going off like the nursery rhymes.
The kids with the neon. Good stuff.
So good. Big Down Under out today. Well, thank you, Derek. Check back in. You're going to be covering the Diddy trial each and every day.
Always fun, guys.
Fantastic. Goodbye for now.